So who qualifies for this money? Well, first, you have to be a California resident who submitted their 2020 tax return by October 15th, 2021. Next, this only applies to joint filers or families who made less than $500,000 that year, or single filers with less than $250,000. Anyone who made more than that does not qualify. Here are two examples. Families who made
to help so many people across the state. So the governor, everybody, Janet Mills, approved the distribution of the checks in April with a total cost of the stimulus payments estimated to be around $730 million. To qualify, applicants must have lived in the state for a full year and must have filed their taxes in 2021 by October 31st in order to receive the money. Eligible applicants must make less than $100,000 annually if filing individually or $200,000 if filing jointly, as all according to the governor's office. However, dependents are not eligible for the payments, and residents of Virginia only have a matter of days to file the necessary paperwork in order to claim the missing stimulus money. So be sure to act now and be sure to act quick in order to receive your stimulus checks. I have a ton of information about the fourth stimulus check, Social Security benefits, SSI and SSDI. There's a whole bunch of news that you have to know. After the U.S. economy came roaring back after one of the deepest but shortest recessions in history, the disruptions caused by the crisis and other world events has driven inflation to its highest level in over 40 years. And while the clip of rising prices slowed in the latest CPI index, households are still feeling the effects of inflation. The high cost of living has prompted states across the nation to approve sending tax refunds or stimulus checks as relief from high prices. I also want you to know this, everybody. If you're still waiting for a California stimulus check, you might not have to wait much longer. While direct deposit payments begin on October 7th, a second round of payments by debit card is also expected to go out this week. More direct deposits are scheduled to go out between October and next year as well. These one-time stimulus checks are known as the middle-class tax refunds. They range from $200 to $1,000, all depending on their filing status and also your income on your reported California return. So you qualify for a payment if you filed a 2020 income tax return by October, and also you cannot be claimed as dependent by anyone else on your previous tax returns. In the state of Illinois, everybody, for instance, taxpayers who earn less than $200,000 in 2021 will have a $50 check in their bank. Couples filing jointly can also get up to $100 and even $400 and $300 as well. For those with student debt, here's the latest news. The last few months have been definitely confusing. We all know that. President Biden said in August that he'd be forgiving up to $20,000 for millions of borrowers. But before that celebrating could even happen, Republicans brought a slew of changes to the policy, leaving it in jeopardy even as the application for the relief went live. So since October, about 22 million Americans have applied for forgiveness. Yet the biggest setback for the Biden administration is when the U.S. Appeals Court temporarily blocked it from moving forward. In September, the Republicans in the General Assembly all agreed that they tried to sue the Biden administration to stop its plans to cancel hundreds of billions of dollars in student debt. The U.S. District Judge has also ruled early this month that while the states had raised important and significant challenges to the debt relief plan, they ultimately lacked legal standing to pursue the case. The 8th U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals also granted the state's emergency petition, leaving.
As this headline from the Tennessean announced last year, Kaiser moved its headquarters to Tennessee, and it wasn't alone in leaving the Golden State. A recent report by the Hoover Institution at Stanford University shows 153 companies moved their headquarters out of state last year, more than double the amount that left in 2020, and more than 3 times.
We have the most important stimulus check, Social Security benefits, SSI, and SSDI. This is the most important stimulus news that I want you to know, so be sure to continue watching this video, because you don't want to miss the most important stimulus news. Everybody, here's some exciting news. Today, the fourth stimulus checks are arriving for so many people, and payments worth up to $270 are being automatically deposited this week. The federal government has also just announced 10 million people have 1 month left to claim an extra relief check. Here is some good news. There may be a $270 check from the New York State governor, and also it's going to your mailbox. State officials told reporters that we're delivering these relief checks to hardworking New Yorkers who've been feeling the pinch of inflation. The average payment is about $270 for each recipient, which will help address rising costs associated with crisis and inflation. The checks are being automatically mailed to people who receive the Empire State Child Credit and or the Earned Income Credit on their tax returns. To be eligible, you must have filed your New York State income tax return by April or had a valid extension of time to file. The state expects most of the checks to reach taxpayers by October, and also the agency cannot provide a specific delivery date as to when people should expect to receive the stimulus money this year. However, checks are automatically deposited and issued once the returns are processed. Now, the rounds of stimulus checks have helped so many people weather the crisis, but there may be many, as of 10 million people, who haven't claimed their money yet. According to analysis, there are some people, about 165 million Americans, who are eligible for the stimulus checks. That's totaled around $931 billion in direct payments. And the IRS relied on these tax returns to determine eligibility and send out payments to individuals and families, relying on bank account information or home addresses before mailing the checks. But millions of Americans, such as some on the very low-income adults and some seniors who receive the Social Security benefits, are not required to file taxes. That made them difficult for the IRS to reach when it was distributing stimulus checks, and so they have missed out on receiving the payments altogether. Experts say in a report that throughout the crisis, the IRS and the Treasury get inflation relief checks into the hands of people, especially those with lower incomes, limited internet access, or experiencing homelessness. This week, the IRS said it will send letters to more than 9 million families who are potentially eligible for benefits, including stimulus payments or the child tax credits, but they didn't claim them by filing a return. It noted that it will keep its free file program through November 17th, and free file allows people with incomes of $73,000 or less to file a return online for free. And here's even better news on this. There's still time for people to claim the expanded child tax credit, which was provided last year to eligible families. That credit provided as much as $3,600 to families with children under 17. Parents who didn't receive the payments last year have only until November 15th to claim them. According to CBS News, parents who have still missing child tax credits for 2021 can go to the official website to claim them.
Not forgivable and must be paid back within up to 78 months. And businesses must use the money on a specific project to help adjust to the pandemic, such as buying furniture, safety equipment, developing a website, or digital marketing campaign.
This product will be good for a lot of businesses that have a specific plan in mind for something that they need to change.
Small businesses in manufacturing and innovation, trade and logistics, defense and tourism will get priority, as will businesses in underserved areas. Sunil Gakreya, owner of Sunny Perfumes in San Ysidro.
Several states that have started or are working to approve rebate payments or inflation relief checks to taxpayers in 2022 and 2023. Gavin Newsom's state lawmakers have agreed to send millions of Californians inflation relief checks as high as $1,000. The payments, which are coming out of California's $97 billion budget surplus, will go out as direct deposits or debit cards by 2023. The Sacramento Bee reported that the first payments going out as October were for single taxpayers who earn less than $75,000 a year and couples who file jointly and make less than $150,000 a year. They will receive a $350 per taxpayer and another $350 if they have any dependents. A married couple with children therefore could receive as much as $1,000. State residents of Colorado who have filed their 2021 return by June 30th will get a check for $750